everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine, and today we're going to be talking about the Martyrs of Compiegne. Okay, these women were so amazing. I recently learned about their story, and I was just so inspired by these women who gave their lives for Christ. So let's go over first off what a martyr is. A martyr is someone who dies for their religion. And during the French Revolution, priests and nuns were getting killed left and right because of their faith. And it's so disgusting. There's nothing more disgusting than when people say that the French Revolution was the same as the American Revolution. Okay, it was not. A lot of priests and nuns died because of their faith. As far as I know, no priests and nuns died in the American Revolution. The French Revolution was just so horrible and so disgusting. And there were 16 Carmelite nuns who were killed for fanaticism. That is why they were executed. Now let me just tell you about these women who were so incredible. So it was 16 women who were living in a cloister. They were Carmelite nuns. Cloistered nuns are just kind of completely cut off from the world. They aren't out in community like the nuns you'll see if you're, out shopping and you see a nun in a grocery store. That is not a cloistered Carmelite nun. That could be, a sister of life, a daughter of St. Paul, something like that. Cloistered nuns, they are in a cloister. They don't go out into the world. They are strictly there to just pray and offer sacrifice to God. And they're amazing women. I could never do something like that, be so completely cut off from the world. Anyway, so these nuns were living in a cloister. In 1790, during the French Revolution, they were asked, renounce your vows or face further punishment. Renounce your vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. They all refused. And their prioress, who's the nun in charge basically of them, was named Mother Teresa of St. Augustine. She led them into committing themselves as a sacrifice for martyrdom. Just, so incredible. I get chills. So that was in 1790. In 1792, they were asked to remove their habits. They had to go out and live in the community and hide. It was, it must have been so terrifying. Unfortunately, one of the nuns was writing a letter to her cousin renouncing the French Revolution, and the authorities got their hands on this letter, and so her cousin and the rest of the nuns were all arrested and put on trial. And in 1794, they were put on trial and executed for fanaticism. So one of the nuns pretended to be super ignorant and asked the judge, "What does fanaticism mean?" The judge literally said, "It is because you practice religion." How disgusting is that? They were literally being killed in France. Some might consider one of the most Catholic countries. One has given us so many of the wonderful Catholic saints. They were being executed for their Catholicism, for their religion. So horrible. July 17th, 1794, the day of their trial was also the day of their execution. So after they were put on trial and found guilty, they rode in a cart for 2 hours. What humiliation they must have faced with the crowds just... It was such a disgusting time to be a human in France. The crowds jeering at them and everything. And on their way, they sang songs like Salve Regina and night prayers and vespers. They did all of that as they were being ridiculed and just probably things were being thrown at them. And it must have been so, so disgusting. When they finally got to the place of their execution, there was a 78-year-old nun, Sister Charlotte, who walked with a cane. And her hands were tied, and she was not able to get up and out of the cart, and her sisters were not able to help her because their hands were also tied. So one of the guards picked her up and threw her on the ground, and the crowds thought she was dead, and they actually protested against the guard. However, she was able to get up with a blood-smeared face and warmly thanked the guard for not killing her, that she may die with her sisters in a sacrifice for Jesus Christ. Oh, so incredible. The youngest nun was the one who died first, and she was actually still a postulant. She had not completed her religious vows. So she completed her religious vows right there and then with Mother Teresa of St. Augustine overseeing that. All the sisters renewed their vows. And one by one they got up, starting with the youngest. And as she went to the guillotine, she began sporadically saying Psalm 116, Psalm 116. And unfortunately, it was cut short as the guillotine came down and killed her. So the rest of the nuns continued one by one to continue the psalm and kissing a little statue of the Virgin Mary that Mother Teresa of St. Augustine actually held in her hands. And they asked the Mother Teresa permission to die. And the prioress said, "Go, my daughter." Incredible. These women just the unbelievable strength and fortitude that they had to go to death willingly and to be a sacrifice for the church in France and the church in general. It's just so amazing. And then only 10 days after they were killed, the Reign of Terror ended with Robespierre being executed. So really, I mean, this sacrifice that they made must have led to the end of the Reign of Terror just 10 days after they were killed. So they are blessed right now. They are not yet saints. As early as this year, the Pope actually waived the requirement for a miracle for these women to become saints. So they should be becoming saints very shortly, which will just be absolutely great. But what's crazy is they were buried in a mass grave with everyone else who had died that day. So we don't have any relics or anything. They left no earthly accolades. They were Carmelite nuns. So they left nothing for us to venerate them with, which is just so sad. But it's so beautiful that they give us this example. Like, oh, you guys, so often when I am looking for examples, maybe examples of a loving couple who are practicing their Catholic virtues, I ask God to put those in front of me, and then I meet these amazing Catholic couples. Or I ask God for examples of bravery. I learned about these nuns, and I'm so like, how can I be brave like that? I think God knows I'm a complete and utter wimp. I'm a coward, so I don't think I will ever be put in such a position of martyrdom like this, but you never know. And if I am, I would just pray and hope that I act like these beautiful, amazing sisters and go to death for Christ willingly. Oh, it's just so amazing. I mean, can you imagine those nuns just singing Salve Regina on their way to it's so incredible. Okay, so now I want to read you guys Psalm 116. This is the psalm that they were saying one by one as they were being executed. Psalm 116, Thanksgiving to God who saves from death. I love the Lord who listened to my voice in supplication, who turned an ear to me on the day I called. I was caught by the cords of death. The snares of Sheol had seized me. I felt agony and dread. Then I called on the name of the Lord. O Lord, save my life. Gracious is the Lord and just. Yes, our God is merciful. The Lord protects the simple. I was helpless, but God saved me. Return my soul to your rest. The Lord has been good to you. For my soul has been freed from death, my eyes from tears, my feet from stumbling. I shall walk before the Lord in the land of the living. I kept faith even when I said, I am greatly afflicted. I said in my alarm, no one can be trusted. How can I repay the Lord for all the good done for me? I will raise the cup of salvation and call the name of the Lord. I will pay my vows to the Lord. In the presence of all his people, too costly is the eyes of the Lord, is the death of his faithful. Lord, I am your servant, the child of your maidservant. You have loosed my bonds. I will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving and call the name of the Lord. I will pay my vows to the Lord in the presence of all his people, in the courts of the house of the Lord. In your midst, O Jerusalem, hallelujah. It's just so beautiful. I know I'm a coward. I know I don't think I could do what these women did. And they were just so incredible and so beautiful. And just be so grateful, you guys, that these women are up there. And they're just an example of what we should do, what we can accomplish. So you guys, remember, even though they're blessed, they're probably they're saints. They're saints. They're up there. They're saints. Do not be afraid to call upon them when you are in the midst of a situation where you need to be brave, which there are so many times that I am a coward, just in normal temptations, and I am a coward and I fall weak into temptation. Call upon these women and they will help you out. It's so beautiful. I mean, I was reading about the individual women who were executed. I mean, one of these women, their dowry to enter the convent was paid by Marie Antoinette. Like, these were crazy women. Some of them came from very wealthy families. Some of them came from very poor families, and yet they were all together, and they were all, wearing the. That's a little off topic. There's nuns are just fascinate me, and how they become a family and how they're all the same and they come from all different walks of life. It's just so beautiful. So sorry, now I'm rambling, but you guys, Maybe we could make some kind of Martyrdom Monday or something like that for the videos, because there are so many martyrs out there and I love learning about their stories. So please let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more videos about martyrs or saints or something like that. We can figure something out. I really would appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss one of my videos. And that'll really help out the algorithm and bring more people to my channel. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at Catholic Catherine if you're interested in more dating content. I do a lot more dating content on the Instagram. A lot of people really like that. I'm a little nervous I'm becoming a bit of a narcissist posting about my dating life on social media, but I'm really just trying to help you guys out. And remember that it's just really hard when you're doing Catholic dating and you meet someone who's a practicing Catholic but they don't practice Catholic virtues, or you meet someone who's practicing virtues but they're not Catholic, or what have you. It's really hard out there. So I like documenting it. I have fun doing those little videos and everything on Instagram. So definitely check that if you're interested in it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening today. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.